I've just been listening to Tango Maureen and I feel like it's a perfect setup for this video, especially considering that I chose to wear my Rent t-shirt today. Hi everyone, my name's Chloe, welcome back to my channel, thank you for being here today. Today's video is going to be TBR M.A.S.H, but just a little bit different. For anyone who doesn't know, TBR M.A.S.H is my TBR game, which I use to pick my TBR each month. How many times can I say TBR in one video? It is inspired by the childhood game of M.A.S.H, and usually I use a random number generator to work my way around the board, eliminating a card each time from the sides until we have one left on each side, and that card has a prompt on it that I need to use to pick my books to read for the month. Usually I would then have M.A.S.H in the middle, which stands for mansion, apartment, shack, house, but it's something entirely different in my game. Don't really need to know that this time though, because we're doing things a little bit differently. So it's November, which is an exciting month for different reasons. Number one, it's my birthday in November, right bang in the middle, and I am going to be a little bit busy. I have plans, especially during like the week of my birthday. I'm basically away for the entire week and I'm going to be at the theatre a lot, so I am not going to have a lot of time to read. But alongside that, I'm also hosting a readathon in November. November is West End Reads, which is my new readathon, which is all inspired by musical theatre. I'm pretty sure you all know by now, I love musical theatre. And basically, let's give you the rules of this readathon. I am going to link the original announcement down below. But essentially, there are 60 prompts. Yes, that is a lot. Each one corresponds to a different show. You, in order to go and see that show or read that book, you need to buy a ticket, which means that you need to consume something to do with the show itself, whether that is listening to the cast recording. Even if you just want to listen to one song, you can watch pro shot, you can watch film adaptation, you can go and see the show in person if you want to, just something that is linked to the show itself, where you are kind of taking in the show in some way, shape or form. Then you get to read a book that matches the prompt that show represents. So what I've done this month to change up my TBR game a little bit, to make it a little bit kinder to myself, because why not? I have replaced my regular cards with cards that are the prompts from the readathon, and I do know what prompts are up here. I don't know what order they're in, but I have picked the prompts that I would like to fulfill. I have a general idea of the books I would like to read. Like I said, I'm being very, very kind to myself this month. There's normally like extras that I have to add on as well. Like if I get same colour twice, I have to add an extra. There's +1s and things. I haven't got that this month. It is literally just what is on here. There is a punishment that I need to do from last month, but we will get onto that in a minute. But basically, same general rules. We're going to work our way around, eliminating one from each side until there's only one left. That will be the show that I'm going to see. And then we still had the 4 in the middle to represent M.A.S.H, but they are not actually M.A.S.H, they are just regular prompts. It's just going to be another prompt. And then these 2 down here, we'll get onto it now. That is the punishment. Basically, I did not finish my TBR in October. It's like the 2nd month in a row. I do feel myself coming out of my slump now. I think I'm gonna be okay in November, particularly because I've got like a preliminary TBR in my mind that I'm really excited about, but I've just not quite managed to get the October ones in. There is a chance I can do it, but I'm doubting it, so I'm just going to put the punishment in anyway. But I've decided to make the punishment a little bit different. Normally I would pick out a punishment pot and it can be literally anything, but we have seen that out of the 3 times I've had to do that, twice it's come up saying Meg's pick. So I thought I would just preempt it and kind of get Meg involved anyway. And I also asked Becca to help me out on this one because they are 2 of my friends that I've seen the most shows with, so I thought they were the right people to pick for this particular month. So basically I asked each of them to pick me a show, and I have to find a book that matches both of those shows together, because the most amount of prompts you can do per book in this readathon is 2. You can do a 2-show day, so I have to do a 2-show day with their combination of shows, which I'm acting like I do. I've got them up on here like I don't know what shows they are. I already do, but I thought I'd do a bit of a surprise for you. I mean, it's not a surprise really if you know either of them. But we have the first one, which is Becca's pick. I'll give you like 10 seconds to guess what Becca might have picked for this. It is of course 6. So this needs to be a book with royalty. I have already picked this book, by the way, so I'm being intentionally vague even though I already know what it is. And then for Meg's pick, we have got one of Meg's favourite musicals that I put in this readathon particularly because it's one of Meg's favourite musicals, and she's picked it because she wants me to listen to it, and it is Bear Pop Opera. I have already listened to it. I've watched like a very low quality recording of it on YouTube. I did enjoy it, but I found it difficult to take in everything they were saying, so I said that I do need to listen to the cast recording, and I will be doing that this month, and I will be reading an underrated book. Now I had no idea what to pick for an underrated book with royalty, but Becca has jumped in and helped me out with picking the book as well, so I'm just going to go and grab it. This is a book that Becca really enjoyed and you don't hear spoken about too much, hence it being underrated, and apparently it does have royalty in it as well. And also, helpfully, it was on my self-destruct last year and it's one of the books that I gave myself 3 extra months to read, so I need to read it anyway, and that is Viper by Beth Hogan. I'm not going to read you the synopsis because I don't want to know too much about it. I know it's set at sea, so it would have also worked for Anything Goes, but now I only have to listen to one of the musicals that Meg wants me to listen to because she also wants me to listen to Anything Goes. And yeah, I will be reading this as my punishment pick for the month. So we've got the first book out of the way. What we need to do now is get our random number generator so we can start picking our other prompts. Let me just go grab it. So as always, I'm setting my parameters between 5 and 15, and the number we're going to get is 14. That is a long one. Right, this could take some time to count on the board. It's one of those that takes ages at first, but then goes very, very quickly at the end. I'm rambling now. I'm just going to go and pick the prompts. You guys don't need to see me count, so let's speed this up. We've got our first prompt, or our first show even. Let's see what it's going to be, whether or not, I say whether or not I'm happy about listening to it. I've also, like, not only have I picked books that I want to read, I picked shows that I wouldn't mind listening to as well. Like, there's some that I don't love on this list and I've purposely not put those. But let's see. This one is The Wizard of Oz. I can easily listen to The Wizard of Oz. I can watch the film. I've seen this film so many times. It's very, very easy to have it on in the background. And I do already have a book in mind for this, so let me go and grab that and show you what it is. So the first show I'll be seeing is Wizard of Oz, and the first book I will be reading as part of that is Flashfire by TJ Klune. This is the sequel to The Extraordinaries. I actually got an ARC of this when it first came out and I never read it. I got an e-ARC of it. I just never got around to reading it. And now the third and final book, I believe, in the series is out. It's about superheroes. Hence it is a hero story. I will say that for each of these books I'm going to be doubling up as well with another show, because I'm always going to do a 2-show day if I can, obviously. I will go through what other prompts I can fit to these at the end, depending on what else has come up. But for the first one, it's Flashfire. Like I said, this is a YA story about superheroes. I can't tell you too much about it because it is a sequel. I very much want to read this because I very much want to continue the series. I really enjoyed the first one. I like TJ Klune's writing. I find it really interesting that his writing's so different in different books that he writes, because like Under the Whispering Door and House on the Cerulean Sea have this more like adult whimsical quality to them. This is very YA, very young humour, but it's so fun. And I really enjoyed the first one, so hopefully I will also enjoy the second one. Okay, let's pick our second show that we are going to see. Told you once we got one it'd be quite quick. So the second one that we are going to go and see. Okay, these are not the shows that I was expecting to come up. These are the ones that like I put up as like secondary thoughts for prompts. So this is Jesus Christ Superstar. Again, we'll happily listen to the cast recording. Do have it multiple times on DVD, so I can also watch pro shots of it, either the one from the 90s or the concert or the like arena tour version with Tim Minchin as Judas. I really enjoyed that one. I went to see that one in person. And the prompt for this one is betrayal. So I'm going to go and grab a book that would fit that Judas themed prompt. I get to show off a pretty new book that just arrived now for this one. For this, I'm going to be reading The Atlas Paradox by Holiday Blake. This is the Illumicrate version. Isn't it beautiful? I managed to get hold of the set, which was the first and the second one in this, because I missed out on the first one when they first put it on sale. But now I have it. Look how shiny. We've got the pretty sprayed edges. This will also be in my haul, but you know, there we go. I should also say not a spoiler because they released what this looked like before it went on sale. But this is the sequel to the Atlas 6, which is a dark academia, which is all about these 6 people who get chosen to be guardians of the Library of Alexandria, I think it was. And basically one of the things that you know going into this is that although there's 6 of them, only 5 of them actually get to join the society at the end. So they're kind of all like out to get each other and betray each other throughout it. There was betrayal in the first one. I'm assuming that's going to continue. Like, I don't trust anyone in this book, so I'm counting it for betrayal. I'm very, very excited. I loved the first one. I gave it 5 stars, so I'm excited to see where the second one goes. This is the middle book in a trilogy, so we'll see how this one goes, and hopefully it's going to be another 5-star read for me. So yeah, happy that I managed to get it onto my November TBR, because let's get some anticipated reads on there, shall we? Why am I just reading middle books in series this month? Apparently that's the theme. Anyway, let's get our third show to see. I know it's technically like the fifth because we've got these two as well, but third regular one. Third one I had a choice in. Anyway, let's work it out. Got our third prompt, which is going to be something that is falling at me. I did like a little like fumble with the paper there, like David Hunter does in Waitress. If you've seen him as Dr. Palmer in Waitress, you know what I'm talking about, and that made me very happy. Anyway, the prompt is actually one that we're going to do a watch along for. I'm actually going to see it in December, but it's not on in November, so I can't see it then. But we are doing a watch along of the pro shot on the Discord that I will also link down below, and the dates to that are going to be announced like this week as well. So I'm going to watch Jeremy Jordan in Newsies. Of course I am. This is Newsies. The prompt is Found Family, and I do have a book in mind for this, and I'm quite excited about it. So let's go and grab it and see what it is. So when I show you this book, you're going to say, Chloe, I thought you said you were going easy on yourself. It doesn't seem that way, because this is a chunky fantasy that is fairly heavy going, but it is a reread for me, and it is one of my favourite books by one of my favourite authors, and I just really want to reread it because I've read 2 of her other books this year and really loved them, and I want to reread the first book that I ever read by her and remember why I love that one so much, because I feel like I'm going to love this even more when I reread it. I'm reading The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This does have found family vibes in it because Rin basically doesn't have a good family life, and then she gets to school and she meets other people, and particularly like her relationship with Katai is definitely found family vibes. And yeah, I'm very excited to read this. Basically Rin ends up taking this test to join this elite school. The first half of the book is kind of her training in this school and learning about kind of the magic in the world because there's gods involved, and then about halfway through a war starts and it gets a little bit intense and is quite dark and quite heavy going, and I adored this book, so I'm looking forward to rereading it. These are my pretty Illumicrate ones that I can never ever sell now because I devalued them by getting them personalised, but I'm so happy about that. So yeah, I'm going to be rereading The Poppy War. I may try and get the ebook from my library again though, like I did last time, because I don't necessarily want to read these pretty versions. Okay, so let's pick our last regular prompt, and then we will pick M.A.S.H, or whatever M.A.S.H is for this month anyway. Okay. I mean, I could have just guessed what that was going to be because I can do numbers like even and odd. But anyway, the last prompt that we have got is my favourite musical, and I'm wearing the t-shirt. It works out well. It's Rent, which is to read a multi-POV book. So I mean, it's an excuse to watch Rent. I have 3 different versions of it that I can watch. I could watch the film adaptation. I can watch the pro shot that was done on the last night on Broadway, or I can watch the Rent live version that was done with Jordan Fisher in it as Mark. Which one? All 3. We'll figure it out. But let me go and get the book that I'm going to be reading for this. So when I hold it up, yes, it is another fantasy, but it is also another reread. This is A Dark Shade of Magic by V. Schwab. So this is the Illumicrate version again. We've got this is a front cover. This is a back cover. You can actually have it either way, but I like having Kel on the front because obviously. This is one of my favourite book series. V. Schwab is one of my favourite authors. Again, I've been wanting to reread it, so why not do it now? Especially because Schwab Long, which is a read along, which is hosted by a group of my friends. So it's Lisa, Jem and Tori that are hosting this. And I haven't taken part so far because I read the Near Witch, which I didn't want to reread. I was going to read The Dark Vault, but I didn't manage to fit it onto my TBR and I was slumping and I didn't want to force myself to. But I really want to reread this anyway, so I thought I will take part this month. And yeah, this one, I'm saying it's multi-POV because it is all written in... Because although it's all written in third person, like you follow Kel on some chapters, you follow Lila on other ones. I think you follow Holland at some point as well. Like you follow various different characters. So I'm counting it as multi-POV. It's my readathon. I can stretch it however I want to. But yeah, very, very excited to be reading this one. So that is our regular books. All we've got left to do is pick M.A.S.H, which I know is not really that different. I just put different colours on the cards to make it look different. But anyway, let's just pick our last prompt, shall we? Okay, so this would normally be M.A.S.H. It would be a big book. It is not a big book today. Today, this prompt is another one that's going to make Meg very happy. This is Be More Chill. This is Friends. This means, well, you can take it however you want to. You can read a book about friendship. You can read a Friends to Lovers book. You can do what I'm doing, which is to read a book that is recommended by a friend, or should I say a friend yells at you about. I'm gonna go and grab it, bear with me 1 second. So November is also Meg's birthday. Meg's birthday is actually the same day as mine. This is actually a book that Meg bought me as a gift last year. It is one of her favourite books. She has been shouting at me about it for months. It was actually one of her picks for my TBR game earlier on in the year, and it just hasn't come up yet. So I will be taking it out of rotation now because I've just made a point of getting it on this TBR. I did tell her I would read it in November for her birthday. So this is You Deserve Each Other. This is a romance that is about a couple that are engaged and don't necessarily want to get married anymore, but neither of them wants to admit it to each other because that means they are liable to pay for the wedding. So they basically just torture each other until the other one backs out of the wedding, and then they have to pay. And I believe it is actually a love story in the end. I'm assuming they sort of come back to each other, but we will see. I've heard very good things about it, not only from Meg, but Lisa also really enjoyed it as well. So yes, Megan, be happy. I am reading it. I told you I would. And I'm really happy it came up for the Be More Chill prompt, actually, because I love Be More Chill, and I think Friends is a good prompt for this. So there we go. Okay. So this is my TBR for the month of November. This is what I have to read. I do have a list of other books that I want to read, obviously the ones that the prompts that didn't come up on the board, but I'm not going to tell you what those are because I don't want to hold myself to them. This is what I will definitely be reading, and I'm quite happy with how this has turned out because I've got, what, 2 rereads, 1 romance, 2 series that I really want to carry on with, and then this one at the top, which is one of the self-destruct ones that I was more intrigued by. So hopefully it's going to go well. I am just going to very quickly talk you through what other prompts these fit, because we know that this one is 6 and Bear a Pop Opera, but we only know half of the prompts for these. So let me just tell you what other shows I will be seeing during the month of November. Okay, so for You Deserve Each Other, the prompt that we got was Be More Chill, but the other prompt I will be doing is Anastasia, which is a second chance. It is a second chance romance, I assume. Meg said it fits for this, so I'm going to go with it. For A Darker Shade of Magic, so obviously we have got the prompt of Rent, which is so difficult for me to fill because I never want to listen to Rent. And you know, the other prompt that I've got, the other show I have to go and see, it's going to be so difficult for me to fill. It's not like I'm going to see it in the middle of the month. It's not like I'm counting down the days until I go to see it. As of filming this, it is 19. It's not like I listen to it on a daily basis. It's counting for Moulin Rouge. It's reread a favourite, obviously. I will be, like I said, seeing the show, listening to the cast recording. I will be watching the 43-second clip of Aaron Tveit singing El Tango de Roxanne on repeat. It's what I always do. For the Poppy War, so we have got this one fitting into Newsies, which is Found Family, and the other one that it fits into is another one that I'm actually going to see during the month of November. I was strategic in picking these books, and that is Cabaret, which is to read a book set during a war. The clue is in the title. I'm going to see Cabaret for my birthday with my mum, so I thought might as well read a book that fits the prompt, seeing as I'm going to be going to see it anyway. For the Atlas Paradox, we already have Jesus Christ Superstar. We are also going to be listening to Matilda, or actually the film adaptation comes out at the end of the month, so I might just go and see that at the cinema right at the end of the month. This is a book about books because it is a dark academia. It's about the Library of Alexandria. There are definitely books involved in this, so it counts. And then the last one I need to tell you about is Flashfire. So we already have Wizard of Oz, which is a hero story. I could do this 2 ways. I could double up and do Wicked because it has also got villains in it. But I do want to use Wicked for something else. So what I am going to choose instead is another show that I've just been listening to on repeat, so it's fine. I will definitely cover this. And that is Bonnie and Clyde. And this is a book about crime because they are superheroes. They are fighting crime. Works perfectly. I am very happy not only with my choices of books but also with my choices of shows. I mean, we're saying this like I don't just listen to musicals on repeat anyway. Like, I could fill these prompts many times over with the musical side of it. I can buy the tickets so many times. Reading the books, and we'll see. Anyway, I am very, very excited for this readathon. I hope you guys are too. I've been seeing some of the TBRs that have been coming out and it's been making me feel very happy. So I can't wait to see some more of them being posted. Please do tag me in them if you do post any TBRs for West End Reads. And that is pretty much everything. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down below, and I will see you guys next time with a new video. Bye.